Hello there, welcome to the Juggernaut Tester automation tutorials. So I ensure I make this as a one stop for all automation skills. So that is how I've been working on adding the tutorials so that every QA engineer must adopt these technologies. So in this playlist, I have something interesting for you, which is UI automation using Karate. We have already happened to discuss how to automate API using Karate, and we also understood that Karate is widely used in API automation than in UI automation. But given its features, people might migrate to Karate even in UI automation as well, because the importance or the amount of features that Karate offers is completely phenomenal. So I was going through their official documentation, and some of the features are really cool. So they have inspired from all the existing tools, and they know what to learn and what to be avoided. And it looks like they have done enough research on the uh, areas where pain areas, and they have had a tremendous solutions for us, and which is making this particular tool uh, anybody will definitely go for Karate. So that is how the Karate is built right now. So in this playlist, we would be discussing about how you can automate your front end, your UI with Karate. Karate internally uses Selenium to work with your browser or web application. So in this particular lecture, let us only discuss about the highlights of Karate as a UI automation tool, and what features it offers, and why should we really choose Karate. Yeah, so without a delay, so let us just go through the presentation. And talking about the features, we have already discussed that Karate is very well diversified framework or a tool. So it can support API automation, it can help us with UI automation, you can do service virtualization, you can write mocks and stubs, and you can do performance testing as well, and you can also do consumer driven contract testing. So which means Karate is solutions for everything. It's like whatever it will for a full stack QA. If you wanted to automate uh, front end, back end, or you wanted to do a service virtualization, so Karate has solution for you. And we also know that it is pretty much built on top of Cucumber. They have taken Cucumber as an abstraction, and then on top of it they have built the Karate DSL, and they support pretty much the BDD standard, the Gherkin syntax, with the help of given, when, then keywords. That makes more meaningful. The tests are highly readable given this syntax. But the only difference between Cucumber and this is that Cucumber expects us to write the step definition class, but in Karate you can omit that part. So step definitions are offered by the Karate itself. So all you need to do is just build a feature file and start running it. But please ensure you have a proper setup that we will be discussing in our coming lecture. And if I were to talk specifically about what Karate has for us when I have chosen this tool to automate UI, so here are the list of things that we should discuss about. Karate uses W3C protocol to talk to the browser. So if you see Selenium, the legacy system, if you go back to Selenium RC remote controller Selenium 1, so what happens is that they have an intermediate server, remote control server, that exists between your browser and your Selenium script. So these Selenium commands have to be translated so that your browser understands. And of late, in Selenium advanced version, Selenium 3 or 2, where we call it a Selenium WebDriver, we have completely eradicated the part of that remote control server. So where with the help of a driver, native browser drivers, we were making a call to the browser, and that is how we are interacting. So there we have seen a significant improvements in interacting with the browser, in terms of finding an elements, in terms of being in synchronous with the browser and all that. And that Selenium version, that Selenium WebDriver so far uses JSON wire protocol to talk to the browser. But moving forward, if you happen to start working with Selenium 4, which is not into the market yet, I think it is gonna be into the market by September third week or somewhere in 2020. So they have changed this particular protocol from JSON wire to W3C protocol, so World Wide Web Consortium. So this makes the communication more centralized, and we are not expected to see any failures, and also the integration with the developer tools or a DOM is highly enhanced. So this helps us to work very faster and very efficiently with the browser. This is one of the protocol. So Karate has already into W3C protocol even before the Selenium will be into the market. And also one of the beautiful feature that I noticed is that so all the browser related executables are there within. If you wanted to run your test in driver in Internet Explorer or Edge or in Chrome or in Firefox or Safari, you need not take the risk of, or no, you're not liable at all to maintain these driver files in your suite or configure the path and then you launch. So it is not that case. Rather, you can just configure driver by just specifying what browser you need as a keyword. If you need Chrome, if you need Chrome driver, just specify Chrome driver. If you wanted to run in Mozilla Firefox, you just run in Gecko driver. So it just picks that driver and it starts your browser. So that we will go through how to change between the browsers through the documentation. So we'll have a separate lecture for it. And it looks like from the third feature, wildcard and friendly locators, I understood that the Karate is greatly inspired from Protractor and Selenium 4 as well. In Selenium, we have a concept of relative locators. Like if you go and look at the Selenium 4 features, if you happen to find, so they have introduced a new concept of going for a relative locators. Like say for example, you are at a particular element, HTML element, and you wanted to go right to it, and you wanted to go to left to it, and you wanted to find a nearby element which is of a specific tag, something like that. And this was already there in Protractor. So Protractor has an offering that you can descope your DOM so that you can find an element efficiently, and you can just traverse from one thing to another thing. So that we were managing it from XPath, but that can be done through friendly locators as well. So talking about the Karate features, wildcard entry and friendly locators, so these looks very efficient, and these are very easier thing for anybody to locate an element. You need not spend your time writing too much of complex XPaths with these features. So the wildcard entry and friendly locators will help us to do a closest match. Say for example, if you wanted to find a fourth node and the tag is a span or a tag is an anchor, and if you wanted to look at a look for some text, you can specify that and you can identify there. And also friendly locator will help you to do right to an element, left to an element, nearby, and something like that. So this is one of the good feature that I've come across. So again, when we discuss about locators more, so I'll take you all through the documentation and I'll explain you like how to find each and everything. And even the tree walking, so tree walking is pretty much like how you write your XPath functions, like following hyphen siblings, and preceding hyphen sibling, and ancestors, like how you do it. So in a similar fashion, tree walking, there are certain functions in the Karate that will actually help us to find what is the parent element of a particular element and who is the child of a particular element, nth child, first child. So what I understood as a whole is that so they have done a lot of research, and they have investigated the existing tools such as Protractor or a Selenium or any other solution, and they took the best out of it and they enhanced it, they leveraged the functionality, so which is really a good thing for all of us to work with. And like we saw in our Karate API automation tutorial, this has inbuilt reporting. So if you wanted to enhance your experience, you can still integrate with your Cucumber reporting as well, so that you can share it with your client. And it supports chaining of your locators. So when I say chaining process, the chaining that we understood when we are working with API automation is that you can reuse one feature file output to another feature file. That's how we understood. So that concept is still present in Karate UI, but this chaining is a little different than what we've discussed there. So you know that there are several methods in Selenium some methods will return a driver object and some methods will return a web element or web elements. So based upon your operation, so you can have a return type. So what happens in the sense, with this chaining operation you can perform two actions. Say for example, if after specifying the login functionality, if you wanted to do a submit operation, you can do a submit operation and then you can click on another page, or you can send keys to another tab. So what happens in the sense, the submit action would return the driver object, and that driver object would be automatically supplied to the click function, and the click operates on a particular locator. So that way you are not writing too many statements, and also you don't need to write driver dot driver dot driver dot, like unlike we write in Selenium driver dot find element and driver dot manage dot windows. So all these things have already been built into, so you have to write a specific keyword, like this driver is a URL, given driver and the URL, and then input is one of the functions that I've seen, wherein you can specify the locator comma value that you need to put, and then click is one of the function to click, and you have delay function, you have wait for. So all the Selenium actions have been enclosed as a function. So we would be seeing each and every function in detail in the lecture. So but at this point in time, understand that the chaining process is something where you can preserve your driver object, you can store that instance, hold that instance, and then supply that to your subsequent operation. So this can work with anything like submit, any click operation or a input operation can be followed by the submit. And it offers a ease of use. Say for example, you wanted to interact with advanced user interactions like hover over and double click and context click, or you wanted to do a scrolling things and some kind of mouse related operations. So we have decent methods for them. So we'll see a few examples when we really get there. And locator lookup is one of the coolest features. So this is identical to the page object model. So if you look at any framework, it could be a Selenium with TestNG or a Selenium with Cucumber, or even a Python robot framework with Python. So we do have a concept of page object model just to help ourselves with having little maintenance to our framework. So what we do, we tend to keep all the locators, we tend to keep all the actions related to a particular page in a single class file or a robot file, so that whenever there is a change, we ensure we go and change on that particular place. But unlike those things, Karate has a little tweak. So Karate is expecting us to store all the locators as a JSON. So you can very well use the JSON in your test script, so that whenever there is a change of locator, if you update the JSON, that's fine. So that comes and reflects all over your test cases. So that is one of the good features that I've come across. And like we have already seen in API automation, reusable feature files can be done. So you can reuse one feature file output and then you can continue from there. Say for instance, in your enterprise application, you have similar functionalities where in order to perform each and every test case, you need to launch the browser and log in with the specific credentials, and then navigating to a certain page. So you can keep this particular code base in one particular feature file and make this as a reusable feature file, and every time you add a new script, make sure you call this login there, and then you proceed from the next step right after login. So that way you can avoid writing the redundant code. So that helps us to avoid the boilerplate code. And along with this, like all Selenium actions are possible. We have different methods. We can do finding of frames, alerts, and working with the window handles and waiting things and advanced user interactions, and also different locators and the way to find element, and all these functionalities whatever they're present in Selenium and any other tool are still present in Karate. But we will see each and every of them by going through the official documentation, and I'll also will discuss one at a time in our coming lectures. So if you are really interested to read about the documentation, so here is the link. So I would also ensure that I give this link into the description box so that you can help yourself and navigate to the link. So please try to read through the documentation rather than just going by somebody's tutorials. It's really good practice to have a walkthrough of how the official documentation is given, because that always helps us to see things in a different angle. So rather than no being dumped with others knowledge, if you can help yourself reading the documentation, so that gives you a lot of insights, so that might get you another input which I might have missed or which somebody else would have missed. So that is how I do. So, and I am also doing this lectures based on a request from few set of people, and I've also seen that not many lectures are present for karate, and I wanted to help all of us here, and that is a great learning for me as well. So please stay focused, and I would really request you guys to subscribe to this channel and share with your peers and colleagues, like whoever are enthusiastic QA engineers and who needs a good future in their domains, because I closely observe things and how industry is migrating and what they need, and how QA engineers should concentrate on matching their skill set with the industry experience. So I'm doing very close observance on that, and accordingly I'm just building the channel by adding the tutorials. So please do support me and subscribe and share as much as you can, and that way we can all grow. And please understand that we lift others as we grow. That is the basic fundamental here. And if in case you have any questions, or if in case you wanted to get to know more of any of these things, you can just very well connect to me in the LinkedIn or Twitter. So I do post my videos and some of the things like that I learn at workspace or my work location. I would be tweeting them as little tweets or a smaller thread, so that people will have a good rationale of what they're actually learning there. So please, there is no compulsion that you have to forcefully follow me. If you are really interested, just please do so. So thank you so much guys. You have a great rest of today.